Hello, so I just wanted to check in and give you a little update. It's been like a couple months since I made a video, and just wanted to share a little day in the life. My teens and I are at one of my favorite spots in San Diego County. My favorite nature spots is Elfin Forest, and there's a little creek behind us. So pretty and quiet and peaceful here, and we live in a cute little beachy town, but you know, we have neighbors on all sides and buildings, and I just really love to be in nature, and so I try to find these little havens all around us. This one's about a half-hour drive from my house, but it's so worth it. I just feel like this place is so magical. The kids and I were talking as we were driving here about how this place has like a haunted history. So if you look it up, you can see there's like actually haunted ghost stories about Elfin forests. And I just don't feel like that. I feel like it's just really magical for during the day and stuff. With that being said, I probably would never come here at night. Not alone anyway. But yeah, so today is a Tuesday, and I was gonna do a video about how I homeschool my teens. I've been homeschooling my kids since they were young. Like my son was in 3rd grade and my daughter was, you know, well, she's never been to a regular school, but and then they both went to a part-time homeschool center. I don't know, like little schools. But ever since the pandemic, we've been mostly just doing it at home. But we don't really homeschool in the traditional sense. Like we do homeschool with a charter. Excuse me. We homeschool with a charter, so we do have assignments that we have to turn in, and but how we learn and what we do during our days, aside from like the general assignments that we have to do, we have a lot more freedom, which is what I was always craving. And I've always been a big don't sit at a desk for 8 hours a day kind of learner, which is why one of the reasons I wanted to homeschool. So getting out in nature for us is really important, and this is one of the things that we do. But yeah, so that's just basically what we've been up to. It's been the holidays, so it's January now. It's the end of January, and like a lot of people, there's been some illness in these winter months. But right now I'm just feeling so fortunate to live in Southern California. I know the rest of the country, or a lot of the country, is going through some major severe weather, some snowstorms and ice storms, but I have lived in New England, so I do remember what snow and ice is all about. But now I'm just feeling grateful to be here, and yeah, so I'm just going to share a little bit about, first I'm going to take you through Elfin Forest, like I said, but then share a little bit about what we do as a homeschooling family. And I also should say my son is no longer, he actually graduated. There was the ceremony and everything, even though he is homeschooled. Like I said, we homeschool through charter, so they did a graduation ceremony for him. So He's still kind of in the way of like finding himself and what he wants to do as he goes forward. But you know, he could go to college. He really just wants to get a job, so I guess that's what he's focusing on right now. But and yeah, that's it. So I will see you soon. So I think I'm about to wrap this video up, but I haven't been making a lot of content lately just because I just have been really busy for one, and I also get a little intimidated, like, you know, you kind of forget who I'm making these videos for. When I started my channel, I realized it was mostly just because I wanted to have, documentation of like my life for myself, and like if anyone else, liked it or got inspired by it, then that's pretty cool too. But uh, so I kind of put off making videos just because I'm such a perfectionist, and I just like wanted everything to be like, great, and like say the right thing and show the right thing. But today I'm just like, nah, screw it. Because like I said, it just goes back to documenting. And I wanted to really make this video mostly because like when my kids were younger and we were homeschooling, and there were so many videos that I found about homeschooling, younger kids, but not a lot about teens. And even my teens, like we didn't take videos for like a really long time just because they didn't want to be in the videos. And my oldest still doesn't. So if you don't really see him a lot in these videos, that's why. He just does not really like to be videoed that much. My youngest, she's the one that I am still homeschooling, and she is totally fine being videoed now. So anyway, just wanted to say like a little bit about how we homeschool, because like I said before, there were a whole lot of videos on homeschooling teens, and we've been doing this for so long, and we have mostly come from an unschooling philosophy. And even though my kids are, or they were signed up with a charter school, and even are signed up with a charter school, I should say, it's all homeschooling based, but it's a charter, and there are classes that we do and stuff. But we did start out as unschoolers, and I love that philosophy of just learning through living. And that's how I pretty much live my life. My kids live their life. So aside from doing the, required schoolwork, we're often just out and about living our life. And that's kind of reflected in this video. And I do want to touch on socialization. That's why I'm talking in the car right now, because I am actually waiting for my daughter. She does these weekly group chats with, it's called Queer Chat, and she has a group of friends that they meet, and they have, different subjects and different things that they do. And through this program, she's actually met her like really good friends. And when my kids were also taking classes at the homeschool center, before the pandemic, they were taking classes at a center in our town, and they met friends through there as well, and they have friends online. So everybody always says, what about socialization? And I mean, yeah, it's different than when you go to high school. I went to high school and I got a core group of friends, but at first it was really challenging. And especially when I first moved to California, it was like coming from a small town in Maine to a really big high school in California. And I was the odd kid out, and I eventually made friends, and it was fine. And I still talk to some of these people, but friends are going to come and go anyway. And there are other ways to make friends besides school. And we just try to get, like I said, we try to get out and about, and they will talk to people that way. But yeah, they do have friends. They aren't they aren't completely what's the word I'm looking for, unsocialized. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to finish this video. I just wanted to show some days in our lives. There wasn't a whole lot of learning that I videoed, or learning as in like sitting at the computer doing schoolwork, which is what, there is quite a bit of that. But we did have our, learning experiences when we're out and about. So I wanted to capture that. And also just wanted to finish this video. We went to a Taylor Swift themed drag show on Sunday, and it was so much fun. Oh my gosh, just singing and dancing. It was in like a pizza restaurant, and the place was packed with just people singing and dancing to Taylor Swift, and the drag queens were amazing. Yeah, so they sang along to Taylor Swift, obviously, and they pretty much performed their store. So it was really cool. When I play clips of this, though, I'm probably not going to play the music because I know it will get copyrighted, but you will be able to see them dancing all around in the beautiful costumes. And like I said, it was just a great time. So I just wanted to leave you here, and see you in the next one.